Hello, everybody. My name's Michelle Baxo, and I am so excited to invite you here to Power Love TV.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
My name's Michelle Baxo, and
Let's see if I can mute this.
To invite you here to.
This is what
Power
happens
Love
when we're
TV.
live, right? Okay, good. I've muted myself so you don't have to hear me echoing back what I've created so far. All right, good. So here we are live on Power Love TV. This is the start of something really new. So for those of you, you've been hearing me talk about this, about creating a new conversation about love. And that's really what we're here to do. We're here to initiate it, get it started. So this is for people who are looking for love, who are maybe dating, like in the dating process, and for people who are in a relationship. But the point is we all want to bring this, no kidding, to the next level. So that's what we're here for. All right. Now, because mostly I work with women in the Power Love Project, which many of you know all about. A lot of this is going to apply to women, but here's the thing, gentlemen, those of you that have joined us, this is going to be so useful for you as well. So I encourage everybody, write comments in the box. There's going to be a question and answer period at the end. So, stick around. And if you have questions, I'll answer them right for you. You can get the direct coaching on this right here and now. And it's really for everybody. Okay. So now why the heck, why would we even do this? Why are we talking about changing the conversation about something so beautiful? Love. I mean, love's beautiful, right? Well, it is, except here's the thing. More and more people are experiencing disempowered love. And for many, the word love, it's turned into this almost like it's lost its meaning somewhat, right? For many of us, it's turned into this altruistic term, or this fantasy, this dream, or this used to be, like back when, right? And it has often very little to do with what's actually happening in reality. And I am such a stand that we can absolutely elevate the way we really love, the way love shows up for us, and the way we have love show up for others. So as I said, my name's Michelle Baxo. I'm the owner and creator of Power Love Project, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the very first broadcast of Power Love TV. Okay, so if you are in a position where you could grab some paper and a pen, something to write with, something to write on, I would do that. It's also, again, really great if you write in the comments. There is just something about when people share or ask a question, somebody else probably had that question too. So again, feel free. It's not too often I'm going to do this live, so you might as well take full advantage of it. All right. And again, there's a Q&A at the end. Before I move into this, the other thing I do want to mention is if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, definitely do that. And somewhere around here, you're going to see a bell that after you've subscribed, you can hit the bell. What the bell does is it notifies you every time a new training has been posted on this channel. And every week, we're going to have these awesome free trainings for you to elevate love in your life. So you don't want to miss out. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. All right, so what are we doing here? What on earth are we doing here? Like I said, we're here to have this new conversation about love. I call it power love. Okay, so what do I mean? What do I mean by power love? Well, first, let's just look at why we need to even name love something different. Why do we have to create this new conversation? Well, look, I mean, by the time we're in our 30s or 40s, we've all been dumped, bumped, bruised, maybe even broken, and I don't say that lightly. It could be physically, it could be emotionally, either way, damaging. We've been taken for granted. We've been disappointed. Many of us have been cheated on, or maybe even been the ones who've done the cheating. I hear tons of stories where one person is carrying all of the bills and the responsibility while the other person is finding their potential for years and years, decades even, okay? And I know I laugh, and I also know it's not funny when you're experiencing it, okay? Some of us were or are so darn accommodating that we completely lose the sense of who we are. And then the only option left is to leave. This isn't love. Well, maybe it includes love. Love may be a component of these scenarios, but it's not the kind of love I'm out to cause in the world. And I highly doubt it's the kind of love that you really stand for and want for yourself, your kids or future kids or anyone that you care about as well. So one thing that would be really great is to be able to check in and see, I'd love to see a little bit from you guys, just so I can get a sense if you've experienced in the past, any time in your life, any of these kinds of disempowered love, put a 1 in the comment. All right. So if you've experienced being taken for granted, or maybe taking someone else for granted, being disappointed or disappointing others, being cheated on or cheating yourself, being hurt, bruised, or broken, whether it's emotionally or physically, if you've been dumped or bummed, had that kind of disempowered love in your life so far, put a 1 in the comment. All righty. See, because power love is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm very interested in and uber passionate about. So what am I talking about? What the heck is power love, Michelle? Get to the point, right? So power love, it's made of true partnership, full of fun, mutual empowerment, where one's you're empowering each other, you're getting up underneath each other, you have each other's back, and ongoing growth. So that continued growth, because what a fun way to be alive is to have that kind of growth, right? But also acceptance at the same time. Nothing's taken for granted. It's like gratitude galore up in here. And why I say this is so important, because I truly believe that power love raises the vibration of human existence. Now, I know some of you listening totally get what I'm saying when I say that. And others are like, oh my gosh, she's lost me. Now she's going all woo-woo vibrational talk, right? But here's the thing, whether that's the way you speak or not, a part of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. You walk into a room with a bunch of cranky pants, it's a low vibe. You walk into a room and people are elated and celebratory and appreciative and full of gratitude and having fun. That's a high vibe scenario. You feel different. You can actually feel it. So whether you actually speak in the world of vibration or not, all right, that's what I'm talking about. And it's actually measured. Love is measured. The actual emotion, the frequency that it gives off when people are experiencing and exuding love, as well as other emotions. And we know love is a higher vibration, has a higher frequency, literally, right? So again, however you want to hear it, I'm all about let's raise the vibration of human existence. Why wouldn't we do that? It's what we actually want, isn't it? Because power love, it connects us together and it sets us free. That disempowered love that we were talking about earlier, it can still bring us together. It can even keep people together. But often people experience being trapped, resentful, constrained, restricted in some way, deflated, and so on. They're not free. So I'm talking about the kind of love I'm talking about. When I say power love, I'm talking about the kind of love that it brings us together, it connects us, and it sets us free. Now, how do we do this? Right? How do we do this? All of us know to some degree how to do this. All right. All of us have a part of this. I've given a word, I've given a term to it because it speaks to me. It's the kind of love that feeds me power, and the kind of love that feeds other people power, like personal power. All right. But as long as you know you don't have to use that word. As long as you know what I'm talking about when I say it, then we're good. And we all know to some degree how to do this, but we're also often stopped. I work with women, usually 30 and older, who are looking for love and are frustrated. I work with other women who are in relationships and they really want to have something work and they're frustrated. So before we go into it, I want to tell you that the number one barrier that women over 30 tell me gets in their way of having this kind of love, and they tell me this, okay, or some version of this, right? So I'm summarizing a whole bunch of different things that many, 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 many women have told me. And men, you should pay attention to this, okay? So what they tell me is that in the past, something like this, in the past, when I really let myself love, I lost myself and I got hurt, or I got hurt and then I lost myself. Now it doesn't even seem like that kind of love exists anymore. It doesn't even seem available to me or an option. The men who seem to be available seem to want something different. Now, if this is you, and again, it could be you're in a relationship, it could be you're dating, it could be you're in the dating world, or it could be you're like just, thinking about going back into the dating world or starting up in the dating world. I want you to know if you have some version of that in your mindset, it is a mindset for one. It's not invalid, it's not inaccurate, but it is a way that is shaping the way you're looking about this in your life. And you're likely trapped in this default mindset. Now, I'm calling it default because what our brain does is it registers what's familiar. Okay, and some of you that work with me, you've heard me say this to you before, right? I mean, it's obvious. It's just like, my dad's a dentist. So when I'm going through the city, I'm way more likely to just notice dental offices than I am the offices of lawyers. I'm just way more likely to notice it. I don't even need to go to the dentist. I'm not looking for a new dentist, but that's what, in my world, there's way too many dentists out there, but it's because it's what my brain registers. Okay. And you're likely now trapped in a default mindset that's giving you exactly that view. All right. And that you're stuck in it right now. You're trapped in it right now. And it really does take something to rattle yourself out of that default to be able to start seeing all of the other things that are actually out there and available to you. Now, men, if you're watching, I know that one of your barriers is that experience that you can't win with women, right? You even may have experienced them in that experience of feeling like men want something different. It's not the same of what they want, and you can actually sense it. But then there's also now what you're bringing to the table, which is I can't win with women. No matter what I do, it's not enough. I try so hard. It's not enough. Why bother? These sorts of things can start coming up. So for all of you, right? And again, my expertise is working with women, but really for all of you, forgiveness and letting go is going to be critical here. Before we get into the actual content that I want to provide for you, you got to know that forgiveness and letting go is critical. And there's actually trainings on my channel. So another reason to hit that subscribe button. There's trainings that are available. And what you'd want to look up is the clean slate, CLEANSLATE, clean slate. That's what you want to look up. And it's going to make a real difference for you in moving forward. There's actually an exercise, and then there's also a meditation that you can use. Okay, dokie, good. All right. So now we're going to get into the 10 tips for allowing and causing power love in dating and relationships. Okay. But I also want to check in to see who's here. So, again, I know that most of the people that I work with are women. So there's probably a lot of women here, but I don't, if there's some men in here too, I want to make sure you're included. So if you identify as male, put an M in the comments. If you identify as female, put an F. If you're in a relationship, put an R. If you're single, put an S. So you can do that separately. You can do it together and say MR or FS or FR or MS, right? Whatever. Okay. Just so I can get a sense in there. Okay, we're going to dive right in. I am going to go through this stuff super quickly. All right, I'm going to go through it quickly. And in the future, I just want you to know we're going to dive a lot deeper into this stuff in the future videos that are going to be on this channel. So this is a real taste, and some of this stuff you can really go to work on even after this video. All right, but to keep things moving, I'm going to keep it rolling. So if you have paper, grab your paper. If you like to type in the comments, bring it. I love it. Okay. All right, good. So the first step, or the first, not step, but the first tip I can give you for allowing and causing power love in dating and relationships. And oh my gosh, those of you who know me know that this is something I could talk all day and all night about. It is so important, and it's most commonly not followed. Okay. And that is to squash the shame. Squash the shame, squash the shame, squash the shame. What shame? A lot of times we're like, I'm not ashamed. What are you talking about? What's shame? Well, I got no shame, right? Yes, you do. you most likely do. So for example, check it out. Now, instead of being defensive, there's probably lots of areas where you don't have shame. Okay. But rather than be defensive, check it out and look for where you do have shame. Find your version of where this fits for you. Okay. So I'll give you some examples that will hopefully, ignite something for you so that you can see something for yourself. So here's an example. Are you as proud about making a change in your love life? So whether that's to be in a committed relationship or to, elevate your sex life, whether it's to bring romance into your marriage, whatever it is, are you as proud about making a change in your love life as you are about getting a new iPhone or switching to Android? Okay. Are you as that proud about it? I mean, you look at the things that people are posting and talking about all day, every day. Are you that proud about wanting to make that change in your life? Okay. Are you as proud as you would be about, going for it with your career, whether it's to reach a promotion or a certain goal, or if you're a salesperson to reach a certain milestone, whatever it is, right? These are things that we actually, when we want something and there's no shame around it, we are talking about it. We can't shut up about it. All right. And it's in a really exciting way, not in a complainy pants way. Okay. So I want you to check it out, right? See if there's any shame there for you. Are you defending yourself when other people bring it up? Okay. So maybe if you're in a relationship and your partner's bringing something up about something that maybe could change in the relationship, do you get defensive? Or if you're single and, it's the holiday weekend, for instance, and people are asking you if you're seeing anybody and, oh, why not? Or, oh, can I set you up? Do you notice yourself getting defensive or irritated or, righteous, or does that stuff start coming up for you? And by the way, it really did for me. So I get it, right? I totally get it. Could are you private about being single? Is it something that you would never post on Facebook, right? And again, what you share, really what you share is your business. I'm not here to tell you to change your status on Facebook, but check it out, right? What would happen if you did put single? What would happen? What would happen if you started sharing about it? What would happen if you actually did a live post on YouTube or on Facebook and invited all your friends to it and said something like, I'm looking for love and here's what I'm looking for. All right, here's what I'm not going to do anymore. And here's what I really want. And I don't know how to find it. Help a sister out, right? What could happen? But often it's like the shame. Oh my gosh, totally creeps in, right? And it doesn't have to be even something so public. It happens right inside of relationships. Are you uncomfortable telling your partner you want to spice things up in bed? Or ask for a certain kind of foreplay? Are you embarrassed to go for the lingerie thing when you've never done that before? Right? So look for where there might be shame. Why this is so important and why I'm focusing so much on this, and you can feel it, right? I've got like blood racing through me about it. Okay. But it's because if you have any shame around what you want, you are blocking power love from your life. You are telling your subconscious, the universe, and or God that this is something to avoid, even though you're saying it's something that you want. Shame communicates it's something to avoid. It's dangerous. All right. So next, number 2, we're going to go over 10 things. I won't be able to go into that much detail into all of them, but we're going to keep rolling. Number 2 is stop pointing fingers. And again, this is the kind of thing I know a lot. Listen, most people who come and watch any of my stuff have done a lot of personal development. So we're all like, I don't point fingers anymore. I take full responsibility. I own my stuff, right? But then we stop noticing how often we do point fingers. All right. So if you've got a piece of paper, or again, you can use the comments, I highly recommend write a list of what your complaints about others in the dating world and your relationship. So you've got complaints either about the dating world, like the kinds of men or women that are out there, or who keeps showing up, or the things that really annoy you, or, or it could be in your actual relationship as well. It's the complaints, the things that you're like, and then, probably some part of you thinks that's the reason why you don't have power love in your life. But just first, by starting writing the complaints, you'll see what I mean in a minute. And again, I love it when people write it in the comments. So go for it. All right. Now, you might be accurate, but it has nothing to do with you not having power love in your life. So all those complaints might be totally valid, accurate. 50,000 people would agree with you. You could get 25 likes if you posted it, or 2,500 likes if you posted it on Facebook, or so on, right? But it's nothing to do with you not having power love in your life. Just as I can give you many, many complaints about airlines, flying, the size of the seats, the window versus aisle seat, the layovers, and all of these things. I could really go to town about my complaints about these things. But that has nothing to do with why I've never been to Portugal. Got nothing to do with it. And you know what? I'm going to Portugal next week, and those complaints haven't disappeared. They're all still there. Everything's still the same. So they're not actually connected, though we often are convinced that it is, and we convince ourselves that it is. All right. So separating that's going to make a really big difference for you. Stop pointing fingers. This is your way to stop pointing fingers so that you can actually, bring power love starting from here. Okay. Also, find your double standards. Now, again, it's a little bit like, notice that I keep sort of telling you things that you got to check in with yourself, and they're not places we like to look. They're uncomfortable places for us. And, I just got to say, it's useful to look in those uncomfortable places. So here's another exercise for you. You might not have time to do it now. You might do it right after this recording. But if you're keeping up, then keep a rolling. Write a list of your core values when it comes to a relationship. Like, what are the core values that you really want to have in that relationship? Maybe it's trust, reliability, being loving, give and take, understanding, open-mindedness, and so on, right? And then I want you to look. I know there's lots of places where there are no double standards. I get it. There's lots of things that you do, but look and find where your double standards are. Where do you say you want trust, but you're not trusting? Or maybe you're not being trustworthy, perhaps, right? Where's the double standard? Where are you expecting a certain amount of reliability, but then you're not reliable? For instance, maybe you're not reliable to yourself to maintain your own boundaries, for example. Or maybe you're not reliable to others. Maybe you're late all the time. I don't know, right? But find your double standards. Maybe you're wanting someone to be, really open to try new things, but you're not. Or you want someone to be really clear about who he is, but then you're accommodating yourself all the time, right? So just notice the double standards. Now, I don't want you to swing in any one direction, all right? That's not what I'm interested in having you do. What I want you to do is to just check it out and step up where you can see it would make a difference, and pull back on the demands a little where you could see allowing for humanity would be appropriate. Okay. Now I'm just going to pause here for a moment. Why? Because it looks like that we're not actually live on the stream I have going on, and I just want to make sure it's working. So don't go anywhere. Okay. No, it looks like we're good. It looks like we're good. I'm just making sure here. Excelente. Okay, good. All right. I just wanted to check it out because otherwise I'd have to do something because there'd be people waiting to be viewing this, right? All right, good. So let's keep moving. So we did squash the shame, stop pointing fingers, find your double standards. And now, oh, this one is so big. This one is so big. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Now, I know we're usually saying, it sounds like it's cliche, right? Like treat others the way you want to be treated. I know we know that. You can do that too. That's good. That's great. But I want you to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Otherwise, you lose yourself. All right. So you got to check it out. So you may have a list of some of the things, the ways you want to be treated, what would really have you feel whole and complete and cared for and loved in a relationship. Now you need to treat yourself that way. Why? Because you train other people how to treat you. And the best way to train people is leading by example. Doesn't matter what we're talking about. That's the case. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples and that'll only match if it's consistent with what you want. So for instance, again, I say the reliability because it comes up a lot, men, by the way, if you're watching, women really do value reliability. They know that they can count on you, that you've got their back. Oh man, the amount of security that gives, it's like amazing. All right. So anyway, so let's say you want to be with someone that you can count on, then make sure that you're being someone that you can count on, like that you can count on for you, right? That you can count on yourself to do what you need to do for you. Right. So that's where we're in that realm of self-care and establishing boundaries, letting people know, what you can and can't do, having it be okay, taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, right? Be someone you can count on for you. If you want to be with someone that finds you sexy, and you're like, I want someone who makes me feel beautiful, that adores all of me, that loves me for my attributes and my flaws and just finds me sexy. Well, then guess what? Step one is for you to find yourself sexy. And I am not talking about changing the way you look. I am not. You can if you want, but I'm talking about learning how to look in the mirror and get turned on by you. All right. Can you turn yourself on? Can you actually find yourself sexy? All right. That's challenging for a lot of people, not everybody, but for a lot of people. So if it's challenging for you and that's something you want from the other, oh man, that is a good thing to start getting to work on. All right. To the mirror after this. Okay. If you want someone to be gentle with your emotions, you need to be gentle with your emotions, which means pay attention to that self-talk. We're going to be definitely working more on a lot of this stuff in future videos, but you're getting the point. Empower and motivate yourself. Don't wait for someone to show up to empower and motivate you. Now, some of you are awesome at this already, and some of you, in some areas you are, and in some areas you aren't. All right? And make time for yourself. If you want people to make time for you, make time for yourself. Okay? So treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Otherwise, you'll lose yourself. All right. So again, comments, I'm so into them. Check out, what can you do? You can put in like, what are some of the things that you're already seeing you can start taking on so that I can see that you're going to apply some of this stuff. And again, whether you're in a relationship or not, right? This stuff is huge for attracting the kind of relationship that you really want when you're starting from scratch. This is really what this work's designed for, but I am telling you, it is gold for those of you that are already in a relationship too. Okay. Number 5, stop trying to be everyone for everybody. Now I'm talking to my martyrs. All right. And you know who you are. This is another way you lose yourself. You try to be everyone for everybody. And all you personal development junkies out there, I get you. I get you. I understand you on a personal level, right? But you got to stop using personal development to fix yourself. Stop using personal development to try to become some superhuman that everyone's going to like or agree with. All right. You're losing yourself by doing that. Okay. So cut it out. I'm not saying stop personal development, but stop using it with that slang, because that's not what personal development's designed for. And you know it. You do. Okay. Share your journey with people, not just the happy endings, not just the impressive stuff. Share your journey. Let people in. Okay. Let people know your limitations. You can be working on them and let people know them at the same time. Let people contribute to you. Now, ladies, this is especially for you. I want you, this is like a mission I'm giving you. All right. I want you to get into the practice of asking men to support you on a regular basis, like at least daily. And I don't care how small and silly it is. Find opportunities for you to be supported. All right. Now I'm saying by men, it can be by anybody, but I'm saying by men because many of us women have this resistance to doing that. All right. Now resistance, that blocks love. All right. So we're going to step towards the resistance. Even if you don't want to date men, even if you date other women, I'm telling you, ask men to do more things for you. All right. Try it out. See what opens up. Okay. It can be something silly like, I don't know, you're holding groceries and how are you going to open the trunk, and asking someone, can you hold this bag for a second while I open the trunk? Just a stranger walking by. It's great. Do it. All right. Go for it. Men, this is more of a tip than anything. But when women are speaking to you, just listen. Don't try to be, everything for everybody and so on. Don't try to solve all her problems as she's talking to you. Unless she asks you for a solution, she's really most likely not looking for one. She wants to connect. She wants to be heard. There's just communicating to feel connected. So all you need to do is just listen. That's it. Not give solutions. All right. And that will actually help ease you so that you can stop trying to be this, savior for her in that moment. You can save in other ways. That's not one of the ones that's going to work out very well for you. Okay. 6, stop expecting anyone to be everything for you. All right. So many of you have a list, if you're looking for a future relationship, I bet you got a list, right, of the things that you want in a person, right? If you've been to any of my webinars, I even told you to write a list, right? And people even who are in relationships, it's funny, our list gets longer and longer as relationships go on. We start getting a little more, what about this? I want this too. Well, how about this? Well, now that we're in this, I want this, this, and this as well, right? But that list is often based on failures from the past. So it's the opposite of what we don't want as opposed to what we actually do want. And that list gets so long. I mean, we've lived some life here, haven't we? And so now you've got this contradictory list because there's so much that's gone down over the 30, 40, 50 years of your life so far. There's so much that's gone down that now you're describing someone that doesn't even exist, and no one can win with you. No one can win with you. And so it's not going to work. All right. The relationship you're in isn't going to work. And if you're not in a relationship, I'm telling you, it's just going to be a lot of dating and no relationship, no love, definitely no power love. Okay. Now, one thing that you can start doing is look to have your needs met by a multitude of people. Now, one person can be a lot of what you're looking for. Absolutely. But they can't be everything. So for example, we know this. It takes a village to support a woman emotionally, doesn't it? Right? So we need to really approach love and relationships on that level too. All right. 7, let go of something is better than nothing. So any of you, okay, if you want a committed relationship and you're still settling for casual sex, cut it out. Cut it out immediately. If you're tolerating a boring relationship, then start being more exciting and start directing, start asking more for what you want. Demonstrate it, ask for it. But don't just, having a a physical body there is better than nothing, better than being alone. Oh my gosh, you are blocking the kind of love that you really want. Okay. There are so many actions that you can take to have more of what you want, but it doesn't come from the mindset of something is better than nothing. So you have got to stop settling for this halfway nonsense. All right. And take full responsibility and go after what it is that you really want. All right. 8, prepare to not be prepared for abundance. So if you think about this, and many of you probably experience this in career, especially if you're in business, where you reach a certain point where, or you've heard other people, or you can just imagine if you're, whatever. But any business as it grows, there's a point where we start saying, oh no, I don't want this to get too big because I don't have enough staff. Or if this gets any bigger, I don't know if I can handle being responsible for that much. Or, what it's like we're afraid of success. We're afraid of having the very thing that we want. Now it's usually very subconscious, right? But we do start actually almost causing things to slow down. And the same happens in dating. So now this is especially for women, but men, I believe this will apply for you as well. Women, let them want you. Let them want to be with you. Let them, adore you, love you, enjoy your existence, like lots of things about you. Your job is to create healthy boundaries. And a lot of times as women, we don't want to create boundaries. So we just make sure we never have to deal with it. And we keep people at a distance, right? Share yourself, let yourself be loved, and create the appropriate boundaries. That's a muscle worth building. All right. Let yourself fall hard. Let yourself fall in love and hold yourself accountable for maintaining your alignment, for maintaining that relationship with yourself, rather than being cautious, careful, scared, and then never having to deal with how challenging it is to hold yourself accountable for maintaining your sense of self. 9, I'm going to talk about that 5% of thought we have access to. 5% of thought? Some of you know this already, but while we feel like we've got free will all the time, 95% of our thoughts, actions, moods, and so on, it's all already predictated by our subconscious. Okay. We're like a computer, right? That's already been programmed. And over time, it's been programmed, right? But it's 95%, not 100%. We've got 5% to work with that can then impact our future 95%. That's why it takes so long sometimes to shift our mindset, or why it can take so long sometimes to create new automatic habits, right? We can create new habits, but for them to become automatic takes a bit of time, right? So you've got 5% of creative thought to work with. So what I want you to do is fill it with as much goodness, ooey gooey deliciousness as you possibly can. So an example. You're in the dating world and you're meeting a lot of people that maybe aren't your match. Welcome to the dating world, right? Now you could focus on all the negative components of it, but what I want you to do, and this is going to make such a difference for you, is find evidence for how much what you want really does exist out there. I want you to actually see, it could be a person that you never intend to see again. But you know what? They actually asked you out and took you to a place where you could have fun. Like they brought you somewhere with live music and you love live music. And while you don't necessarily want to be with that person again, hallelujah, we can celebrate that there's someone in your life that invited you to do something that really interests you. Okay. Or maybe they have a certain characteristic that really just, warms your heart and it's what you're looking for. Focus on that and give gratitude to that. Even when you don't want to see them again, it's not a problem. Okay. We really want to be filling that 95%, replacing all that resignation, all of that disappointment, all of that disempowered love, and start filling it with some power love thoughts. You with me? Good. Over time, you'll see this change. And number 10, the final one, is align your actions. Align your actions, your beliefs, your values, and your intentions. All of those need to be actually aligned when it comes to love and relationships. And that's actually what's to come in Power Love TV. That's how we're going to be moving forward, is some real actionable stuff that's consistent with your intentions. And I'm going to show you how to bring that in with your core values and your beliefs as well, so that you can, no kidding, elevate and bring Power Love to your life. Okay. So I'm going to check in to see if there's any questions. If people have questions, start typing them now. Before I go into it, I want to let you know, okay, in case you don't know this, if you joined us late, for instance, that every Thursday, so starting now, but starting next week, every single Thursday, there's going to be a new video, an actionable video. It's going to be quite a bit shorter than this, but it's going to be posted on my page. So you got to do two things so that you can make sure you don't miss them. One is hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. And two is hit that bell so you get a little reminder that's like, hey, it's Thursday, check it out, right? We know how life is. Life just flies by and we're always too busy to do everything, right? This is going to be a few minutes of your time right before the weekend. This is why we picked Thursday, right? Just before the weekend, so that you can really bring it into your love life. Next week, we're starting with how to create an authentic and irresistible dating profile. So good, right? So it's going to be very actionable. We're going to go right into it. So again, subscribe, hit the bell, and then I'm just going to check out to see if there's questions. Let me check it out. I'm new to live on YouTube, so let's see if I even know how to do it. Are you guys writing questions? I'm looking it up here. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. We've got some people. So I can't tell if these are questions or things. I guess these are things. Oh, John, good. Subscribed and dinged. I love it. Okay, good. So I'm just reading what Jenny was writing here. So a lot of guys that I talk to online, they make it so obvious they want to have sex with me, and it just turns me off and makes me think they're just players. That's probably one of your complaints, right? From earlier in there. I totally get it. So one of the things, Jenny, definitely come next week when it comes to creating your dating profile, because there just might be something that's missing, something we could add in, or something that we could take out, that's having you attract people that are saying that stuff to you. Because I promise you, there's always going to be a little bit of that, of people that are online for, just like if you go to the bar, there's people who are just looking for sex and nothing else. There's going to be people online like that too. But we want to make sure that you're optimizing that small little window of who you are and what you're looking for. So the next two videos are going to really make a big difference for you. Okay. So make sure you do that. All right. I'm just checking this out to see if there's any other questions, because there's a bit of a delay. So we never know. I'll give it another minute or so. Do you guys like how my lips match my shirt? I did it just for you. Nice, right? Okay, so I'm going to close it off here. I'll keep my eye on this too. So if you watch this later and you want to add some questions, feel free, right? I'll be responding to it. And, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being with me. Thanks for being a part of a new conversation. Okay. I know we covered a lot very broadly today, but we needed to do that first so that we can dive in specifically moving forward and have, if you just take actions without knowing where you're standing, without the context of what we're really up to, then it's just going to give you more of the same, right? So let's all come from power love and what we really mean by power love. I think that's at least there. Yeah, you're welcome. I love you too. And, let's just really come from there and then take these next action steps and make a real difference. Okay. Love yourself, love your life, and fall in love. Don't settle. No need to settle. Why settle? Life is short. Yes. Okay, take care. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. This has been fun. All right, good.